It's really good to be with you in the deepest sense of the word. Again, episode 74 of The Glow, and it's so much fun that we just keep on doing it. Maybe next time it'll be 75. And it's the early afternoon in Asheville, North Carolina, in the United States of America. People always ask, where are you? Where are you from? So, what I can tell you is where I am, which is Asheville, North Carolina, in the United States of America. Have some, what we call rehearters. There's reminders, right? To bring your mind back to something. And I like to use the term lately, rehearting, to awaken, to open the heart to something that perhaps the perspective has been lost in or has never been brought into awareness yet of. So we're going to do a little rehearting today. And this is interactive space, so I'd love to connect with you. And any questions you have or comments you have, tell me where you're from, what life is like in your world right now. If there's a way that I can support you. Facebook is telling me all kinds of things right now. You're live. We're building an audience for you. Keep going. We're telling your followers to join your video. We're still spreading the word that you're live. This may take a minute. Want to know who's watching your live video? Swipe left to see your viewers. Cool. A couple projects I'm working on that are very exciting to me. Some of you know that I got contacted by a prominent publisher in the world of spirituality and consciousness, and was invited to explore the possibility of writing a book for them, with them, in coordination with them, and so I'm working on that. On my amazing, wild, crazy, adventurous journeys the past 5 weeks through Asia, I lost my laptop in the Hong Kong International Airport, but it has been rediscovered in the Lost and Found, and we're in the process of getting it reshipped to me. So the writing of the book is on hold right now, but it's just about complete the first and second chapters, and I'm really it's really feeling good. It's feeling like it's another level of sharing some of my personal story, which people haven't heard from before, and I don't necessarily find it valuable generally to share my personal story, because when people create an image, they create an idea of something separate from themselves, a separate person from themselves, where really the intention of the writing is to reflect you back to yourself, to be a reflection of yourself. But sharing more of my story in many ways, many aspects for the first time, is a way, in this case, for you to be reflected back to yourself, to realize that wherever you are right now, wherever you feel you are right now, if you feel like you're in a space that's very difficult or challenging, or you're in some kind of space where you're hitting you're bottoming out, you're hitting a low point, I was there once too, and I understand what that is and what that feels like, and there's a way out, and I'm the living proof, and I'll show you how, bit by bit in these videos, and I'll show you how in the book that I'm writing to. Start off by showing you where I was at this low point in my journey and how I found the way through finding the guideposts and points of navigation and dedicating myself fully, completely, wholly, 100% to spiritual awakening, to recognize and realizing who I really am, to asking the question of who am I, what is my purpose, why am I here, where does inspiration come from, where does suffering come from, is there a way to transcend suffering? What is the meaning of life? These deepest questions of life, and dedicated myself fully and completely to this path of spiritual awakening, of self-realization and self-actualization, because I felt like there was no other option, there was no other choice. And the truth is there isn't any other option or any other choice. There's the path of suffering, or there's the way out of suffering. Which path do you want to be on? At some point, suffering gets old. You get tired of it. It's not as interesting as it used to be. Transcending suffering becomes much more interesting and exciting. And that's when the journey begins. Also have a new private Facebook group that's going to be an accountability group to hold each other to live to our highest sense of self-actualization and self-realization, to really live on purpose, to really be living from the deepest depths of our heart, the deepest sense of meaning, purpose, and inspiration, and to be supporting each other in doing that, moving past limiting belief systems, blocks inside, unconscious shadow patterns, bringing all of that from the unconscious to the conscious, bringing that to the surface so it can be transcended and live from the truest depths of our being, and support each other in living that each and every day. It's going to be the most exciting, dynamic, supportive, loving, peaceful, liberating, empowering community that I've ever been a part of, or that I know of, and I'm going to be very excited. I already am very excited for you to be a part of it too. So stay tuned. I'll give you the links for that. It's in the process of being created. It's kind of the next level from the True Empowerment course, from the Anxiety to True Empowerment course, which we just wrapped up with, and you can still participate in. Follow the link at the bottom here. So I was talking about the metaphor of the ocean earlier today, about the waves of the ocean. So the waves of the ocean on the surface can feel very tumultuous, can feel stormy, can feel rocky. Emotional waves, the tide of good and bad, of right and wrong, of positive and negative, of now you're up, now you're down, now you're succeeding, now you're failing, now you're here, now you're there, now someone loves you, now they don't, now the person you love is here, now they're gone. People are being born, people are dying, people are here, then they move away. Now you have a child, now they grow up, now they're gone. Now you have a job, now you don't. Now you have money, now you don't. Now you have friends, now you don't. Now you have a healthy, strong body, now you don't. So the waves, it's stormy, it's rocky up there. It's never settled. There's never any security to hold on to grab onto. In this world of form at the surface, life is always changing, moving, evolving, shifting, growing, ascending, descending. Evolution and de-evolution of the cosmos. On the surface, it's wild, it's unpredictable, it's ever-changing, when we come into the depths of who we are, and we really explore this question of who am I really, and we explore this depth of who we are, of who I am, of what I am, we discover something that's below the waves of the surface. We come into the depth of our being. We come into the depth of the ocean's floor, the ground, the surface of the ocean's floor. In the ocean's floor, we discover something that's still, that's calm, that's at rest, that's at peace. That's unchanging as the waves of the surface rise and fall, ebb and flow. The waves, the surface are noisy and crashing into each other. At the depth, at the bottom of the ocean's floor, it's silent, spacious. As we awaken in our consciousness, as we awaken to the essence of who we are, the spiritual essence of who we are, we become aware that no matter what's happening on the surface, no matter how wild the waves are, how turbulent the waves are on the surface, we can access this depth of ourself. The source, the core root of ourselves, which is unchanging. This ever-present I am. This ground of our being, which is still. And this is where we find the peace. This is where we find freedom. This is where we find empowerment. This is where we find love. And this is what allows us to embrace every wave and love every wave. And surf every wave that arises. Because we're no longer clinging or grasping to the wave to bring us any sense of security or safety or stability or groundedness. We've discovered the true depth of our being, the eternal presence that transcends the ever-changing waves, that transcends the ever-changing forms that come and go. More and more light coming into the window. More and more light filling the space. There's light all around us always. You know, the only question is, are we allowing it in? Are we saying yes to this moment in an unconditional embrace of what is? Allowing every wave to flow without resistance in the pure light of being. And as you open to this essence inside yourself, you may no longer fit in to this world of suffering and delusion and depression and anxiety and worry hatred and violence the way you once did. And to the ego, this is scary because the ego likes to fit in. The ego likes to feel like it's a part of something. It also likes to stand out, but that's for a different video. There's a sense of wanting to belong, right, and not wanting to be abandoned and not wanting to be isolated. So there's this desire to fit in, even if it means to fit into a world of suffering and delusion and depression and resentment and anger and hatred. Even if it means to fit into that. And when you look really clearly, when you can see clearly from a space of presence, the question arises, why would you want to fit into that anyway? Why are people working so hard to fit in this world? You look at this world clearly, you really want to fit into this? Or do you want to be an example of something new, of a higher evolution of consciousness, of a higher space of potentiality and possibilities, of a higher embodiment of love, of freedom, of peace, of empowerment, of inspiration, of presence? Allow the creative life force to move through you to bring new worlds into being instead of trying to fit into what appears to be the current human condition. And then you feel on purpose. Then you recognize, you can feel in the depth of your soul why you're here to express your unique expression in this incarnation. Does that feel good? Does that feel like are we harder? Anyone have any questions or comments? Israt Ash Sam. Greetings, Israt Ash Sam. Where are you from, my friend? Let me see if I'm going to do this swipe left thing and see who else is here. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Tony. As I often say, the presence here is more important than the words. You know, being present together is the most healing thing we can do for each other. To really be here together is the most healing thing we can give to each other. Hey Data, welcome. So re-heart that, remember that. This presence is more important, way more important than trying to think your way into some better future. This is where it's at. This is always where it's at. Thank you, Mizanor Rahman. Thank you. It's one of those days here where the sun is going in and out of the clouds. And I love these kind of days because it's sort of like the clouds are like our thoughts, our emotions, our physical sensations, external sensory perceptions. They arise and they fall, they come and they go as I teach when we do meditation here. And yet the light is ever present. So even when the clouds are obscuring it for a moment and it seems like it's not there, the light is still present behind the passing clouds, right? And the infinite blue sky is ever present, even when the clouds are temporarily obscuring it. So a day like this, you feel the light going in and out, and it's a beautiful dance of a light that's actually ever present and always the case. Yes, so what I'm saying, Jane, is that there's a presence that's deeper than the words. Yeah, the words are like poetry, you know. So there's people that watch these videos that don't even speak English very well, or don't speak any English, and they benefit from the videos, and maybe they benefit even more from the videos because they're not trying to grasp on anything with their mind, with the thinking mind. You know, what we're pointing at transcends any and all limiting belief systems about who and what you are, about who and what the universe is. We'll get into it more as we go forward, but it's literally mind-blowing. Literally mind-blowing. Like, your mind gets blown. If it's not already blown, it's going to be blown. It's going to be blown open. And we're never going to pick up the pieces. It's just, you're just going to walk around with a mind blown open and a heart blown open. So mind blown open, heart blown open, every cell in the being blown open, and you're just walking around and your eyes are big and bright, and you're present. You're present to unconditionally embrace that which arises right now, like from a field of innocence. Everything falling away. The knowledge base, the philosophy, the ideology, the dogma, all conceptuality, just an open space, what I sometimes call the 0 point of unlimited possibility. And this is the deepest place of empowerment. This is where anything is possible come into being, because you have no longer any limiting beliefs that you're attached or identified with. But most human beings, we want and we like to be attached, identified, limiting beliefs, because there's the illusionary sense of feeling safe and secure with something to hang on to. When we can rest in the infinite essence of who we truly are, then we can let go of the illusionary sense of any and all limiting belief systems to attach and identify with. And we're operating from this vast open space. And when we meet someone, there's a sense of being available. There's a sense of being open. Being present. Being here and being now. And then we're a clear channel for the divine intelligence to move through us. In each moment. And we feel good. Good is a tricky word because good implies there's a bad. But for the moment, we'll just use the simple word good. We feel good for no reason at all. We feel good for no reason at all. We feel happy. We feel fulfilled. We feel a sense of well-being for no reason at all. The sense of well-being and fulfillment is acausal. So because nothing is causing it, that means nothing can take it away. You getting how beautiful and amazing and powerful and revolutionary what I'm sharing is now? Not that what I'm sharing is new, but there's a way of communicating it. There's an opening that's possible through this portal here and now that is revolutionary to the current paradigm of the human condition. People are looking for a reason to find well-being and fulfillment. And I'm saying there is no reason for well-being and fulfillment. And when you discover the well-being and fulfillment that has no reason, that has no cause, that's not based on how much money you have, that's not based on who your husband or wife is, or what your children are doing or not doing, or what kind of job you have, or where you live, or what you look like, etc. When you discover this sense of well-being and fulfillment which has no cause, then nothing is making this sense of wellness, this well-being and fulfillment arise, so nothing can take it away. If something's making it arise, then something can take it away. But I'm pointing to something that is untouchable and unshakable. It's the essence. Realizing the essence of who and what you truly are. Self-realization. And from that, the expression of self-actualization. From this unlimited field of awareness comes into being. Mizunor Raman says, humans sense like a sun when it's rising, shining, and setting. Jane says, when I just be present to you and not focus on your words, my heart feels open and I feel emotional in a good way. Exactly. Exactly. And what we're feeling is a reflection, a clear reflection, a clear mirror to ourselves. Thank you. See you in the next now.